Hey guys, welcome back to Addicted to Teaching. I'm Sonia, and this week I am going to walk you through how to turn a worksheet into a hands-on activity or a manipulative for your students. I wrote an article with a little bit more of the reason why behind it and the step-by-step guides at addictedtoteaching.com, but in this video I just kind of want to show you the steps visually just in case that'll help you kind of figure out what you're working with. So step one is to find that worksheet. If you're anything like me or any other classroom teacher, you've got workbooks and handouts and copies of copies sitting around your room from documents and ideas and things that you've used for years or that you've come across. So you're going to grab one of those workbooks like these right here. I've got a couple of them here. Or something that you printed out from a internet lesson or something that you downloaded, like something that I have here that I found. And you're going to simply look at it and find an activity in it that you can do. And once you have found that, you're ready for step two. So step two is to take the pieces of it that you don't need the kids to do as a writing assignment or a paper and pencil task and to figure out what you want to do. In this case, on this activity, it's a trash timeline. My kids were learning about recycling for Earth Day. And I found these things that talked about how long it took different pieces of trash to decompose or break down. And it gave the items here and it gave the timeline here. And it wanted me to get a hold of these items and put them in a bag or a box for my students. And I just didn't have the resources or the time or the storage for something like that. And I didn't want to be wasteful. So this is the activity that I chose in step two. I picked my sheet. Step three, I created a document on my computer. You can use Excel spreadsheet if you want to use boxes, or you can use Word and simply insert boxes that way, and then just put in the information you wanted. For my trash timeline, I wanted to have different items, so I went through the list and simply inserted pictures and the label of what those items were. And I made several different sets. I didn't have to create several sets. I only had to print them. So that takes us to the next step, which is printing and cutting those items out. Helpful time tip, if you are going to use them over and over again and you want to preserve them for longer, laminate them while they are in whole sheets and then cut them. I know that keeps the edges raw and doesn't seal the edges, but if they're not going to get wet, it's not a big deal, and it is much easier for you to put it through the paper cutter by having it already laminated and cutting it into these kind of blocks and pieces. Once they've already been laminated, then it is to cut it out and then laminate everything and then have to recut out those pieces. I know there are some instances when it's more beneficial for you to have it laminated, and I don't discourage that, but that's just a helpful time saver tip. So once I've got all my pieces cut out, I simply bundle them up with a paper clip. And then I store them in a little envelope. I clearly get all fancy with the instructions on here. I simply write down what it is. And now I've got them. Then I can run them out with my students, do this activity, see if they've got it, and then I can move on very quickly once I know they've got it and we've corrected for understanding and go on to the actual heart of the assignment. The other great thing to do with these is to keep them in a basket or a bucket or a drawer where your students have access to them, especially if it is terminology or a skill that you need them to have pretty well ingrained. They can have access to it when they finish their work early or for a bell work activity if you want to bring it out. Or if you have a short day or you finish a task early, there's a multitude of things that you can do to bring these back out and reintegrate them. And now it's not another gradable item. And because it's a hands-on activity, your kids may be a little bit more engaged with actually participating in it. So hopefully those tips helped you guys out. And you can take a worksheet and turn it into an activity for your kids. Save yourself some grading, increase that student engagement. Hopefully you like this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up down below. And don't forget to click the subscribe button so that you can get notified every time I make a video. And hopefully we can help you guys out in the classroom. Also, I'd love to have any comments down below of how you've used this in the past in your classroom or how this helped you guys out. Or, of course, if you have any questions about how to do this. And if you want to check out more about the whys and the hows step by step, head on over to addictedtoteaching.com and find that blog about turning a worksheet into an activity. Have a great day, guys.